Back in the 1990s, everything I had learned about dealing with the media, I had to put into practice myself. An actor called Eric Cullen found himself on the front page of the Daily Record because his house had been raided the night before and child pornographic videos taken away. I'd only recently hired Eric to make an anti-vandalism video to be shown in schools, so clearly that was a busted flush, and I would be unable to show that because his name was now tarnished. But the truth of the matter was that Eric was the victim of abuse. A paedophile ring had used him ruthlessly for years, and because he was only 4'4", achondroplegic, suffering from dwarfism, he was unable to grow away from his abusers in a terrible period leading up to that. Now he was famous, he was being blackmailed by the abusers to keep these videos in his house. And that's a complicated story to tell, too complicated if you like for a tabloid. But what I found was, when we found the truth of the situation and became outraged by the way he was treated, it was only by dealing with the tabloid journalists, the broadsheet journalists, radio and TV journalists, that we could begin to tell the truth of that story. And I remember my wife phoning down to the office to say there is a Sun reporter standing on our doorstep. I said, great, invite him in. And when Alan Muir came into our kitchen, I said, Alan, here's an 11-page document. It involves you. You have been at police briefings about Eric Cullen, so you can verify how truthful this is. And as he read through it, he said, yep, that happened. Yes, we were told that. Yep, that's true. I said, right. So what you've been told is a very deformed version of this story. That's what led me to say on the steps of the court when Eric was briefly jailed over what happened, that the police had fed the media lies, misconceptions and half-truths. And all of that was because of what I had established in that time. But what I learned was, when you're upfront with the media, when you're candid with the media, when you invite the media in, when you take calls from the media morning, noon and night, when you're willing to open up your home to the media, offer Eric up to do interviews with the media, do interviews with the media yourself, then they will listen, and they'll listen to your side of the story. Now, they must listen to the other side of the story as well. That's their job. But eventually the police fell silent on the whole issue, and eventually 3 High Court judges in the Court of Appeal decided to quash the sentence and give him the chance to rebuild his life after 3 agonizing years. But what I learned from dealing with that was that every single thing that we had ever told people in our training courses, going back to the 1980s, works in practice because it was born out of experience. And whenever anybody says to me, but it's hopeless, the media have got it in for me, the media have got a twisted perception of what I do or what I'm saying, I would say, well, let me tell you this story. Because we were able to turn around Eric's life because of that and quash a jail sentence. So you have to embrace it. You know, it's like turning your ship into the storm. But what I'm told is if you fail to do that, your ship will be knocked over. You can be knocked over by the media storm, or you can turn your ship into it and engage with the media, be proactive with the media, and ultimately tell your story through the media.